Okay, chuck roast. Smoker's up to temperature. That's going to go top left-hand shelf. It's got plenty of space for the ribs and the belly pork. Well, let's come and have a look at that in about 4 hours' time. But I'll put my monitor, my temperature probe in there a little bit later. I've got my app with this Pro Series, the Pit Boss. Great machine, by the way. Again, not sponsored. But yeah, let's see how that gets on. Okay, so beef, chuck roast beef has been on for since about 5:30, so we're now an hour and a half in. That's what it's done and look like. It's now time to put the ribs on. I'm going to cook these for 5 hours straight, and then I'm going to rest them up in a sauce, wrap them up, bit of tin foil, rest them in a sauce, and then we're good to go. So we're reading about 1 o'clock this afternoon. We've got grandchildren, they're going to be hungry, can't mess around with the time. So in with the ribs. I'm also doing the burnt end belly pork as well. And I've actually put these on skewers just for ease of handling. I've left enough room in there for the smoke to get through into every single bit. So, just probably makes a little bit of sense. So, here we go. I'll probably rotate these around a little bit as I go through the cooking process, because I know I've got the grey clothes at the bottom where the heat is, but this is the hottest point. Time for the ribs. Look at those. Bones down. Right, there you go. I'm going to come back in a few hours' time. Probably spritz the pork. Might put a little bit of spritz on the beef. That's a 1 part apple cider vinegar and some apple juice. And that's it. Simple. So it's been an early start. I'm going to go and get a shower, get some rest, and prepare the rest of the food, which is going to be great. Cheers. See you later. Right, we're about 2 3/4 hours in for the beef, and we're now just about an hour and 20 minutes for the pork. I'm just going to have a look and see how this beef is rendering down. Looking good. It's got a long way to go before we get that nice and that bark on the top here. A little bit of my beef is dripping onto my pork, but I'd say I'm not worried about that. Pork is looking good. These burnt ends getting a little bit too burnt, so I'm going to put some of them over here. Out of the way of the heat. Yeah, and I'm going to give the beef and the pork a little bit of a spritz, white wine vinegar and some apple juice. Right. Leave that as it is, and I'll come back in probably another hour's time just to check on the pork. and the beef, and see how it goes. All right, see you in a minute. Welcome back, everyone, to the Suffolk Smoker. These pork belly burnt ends have been on the smoker now at 120 degrees Celsius for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm going to take them off the skewers now, and then we're going to put a little bit of sort of glaze on there and put them back on the smoker for about an hour and a half. These are looking absolutely delicious. I'm making a fork, it's quite hot. In fact, no, it's easy to do it that way. I put them on the skewers for convenience, so I can just, I don't know, I just thought they'd be easier to handle, but you don't have to do that. These are smelling so good. Off you come. I'm going to leave that and have that one to eat. Wow, look at that. Right. Butter. Got a lot of it. Extra little bit of fat in there. Pushing around. Spread it around evenly. And then I'm actually using molasses. So I'm going to sprinkle molasses over these. Probably maybe a shallower tray would have been better. And finally, just some honey. I'm not using the squirty honey, I'm just using this thick set honey. Spread that around. The jar's empty, so it's all going to go. Wow, look at that. Well, I'll have a little taste of this one here. Oh, it's good as it is. It's got all the spices on there. You know, that pork rub that I put on. So, tin foil over the top, back on the smoker for an hour and a half. See you later. Welcome back. Hopefully you can see me. So we're quite far in now. The beef has been smoking since 5:30 this morning, so it's had a good 7 hours, something like that. Sorry, 5-6 hours. So I'm going to have a look at that, and I think it's probably time for wrap. The actual temperature is showing at about 68 degrees, so I think it's stalled in terms of gaining a bit more temperature. I think the ribs are probably ready to come off as well. They've been doing sort of since 7, so they've had about 3.5 hours, something like that. So I'm going to take those off, wrap them, and then I'm going to put them back on the smoker. But let's have a look. These have got, look like good bark on that. Again, I'm not an expert, but hopefully you can see that okay. In fact, I'll zoom in. Okay, I've got my probe in there. I'm going to take that out now. I don't need that in, but it's lovely and juicy. That's sort of crisped up. That bark has come on really nicely. This is looking good as well. All these bits of meat are looking good. You can see the bones are starting to poke out the side there. I mean, look at that. It looks absolutely fantastic. So, as I said, I'm going to take those off now. And I'm going to wrap them, and I'll see you back in the kitchen. Cheers. Okay, welcome back to the Suffolk Smoker. Got the ribs out now. As you can probably see, they are looking absolutely fantastic. Lovely bark, as they say across the pond. Bones are starting just to protrude there. I've got a few burnt bits on the end there, but you know, again, it's not a competition. I'm not worried about it. They've been on for about 3.5 hours. I think after 2 hours you probably get enough smoke into it that you probably don't get any more. Be interesting to see what the smoke ring is like when I cut them up. So the next step is I'm going to use parchment, wrap them in parchment, and all I've got here is butter and some molasses, which is sugar, and I'm going to lay these meat side down, and then, haven't used parchment before, normally use tin foil, but let's see how we get on. Fold in, get it nice and tight, fold in, nice and tight, fold in, and there we go. As I said, I'll go back on the smoker now for another 2 hours, and I'll let these rest for about half an hour, maybe a little bit longer, and we'll be ready to eat. So looking good, huh? Okay. I'll do these ones, I won't video these, I'll do these ones now. Then I'll get the beef out and I'll show you the beef. Cheers. Okay guys, here's the beef. I mean, it looks absolutely, I don't know if you can see that. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Nice bark on it. It's rendered down really nicely. Wow, the flavour is just on my fingers, just tastes absolutely great. I shouldn't probably be doing that, but there we are. So, with this one, I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to wrap it in parchment. Hopefully that'll be big enough. But I've got some of this broth. This is beef bone broth. And I'm just going to lay some on the paper itself. This is what they sort of recommend. Not beef broth, but I mean, people use tallow in the States, across the pond. I'm going to lay that on. I'm also going to rub some beef broth just over the top section so that melts into that. That looks really cool, I have to say. As I said, first time doing this with this beef broth, which is, you know, this jelly material. And I hope now that next couple of hours, etc., this will just tenderise up even more, and we won't dry out too much. Again, go on the smoker and off we go, and I'll probe it, and I just want to get up to about 96 degrees Celsius, probably 97, 98, and then we know it's cooked, and then I'll rest it for some time. So hopefully this will go well. Fold in, right. Probably not the best of folds, I'm afraid, but in fact what I'll do is I'll probably double wrap this as well, just because it's a little bit loose, a little bit of fluid coming out, and then I'm going to stick it back on the smoker. Again, see you soon. Okay, welcome back. Right, this is the burnt belly pork ends, and all I'm going to do now they look absolutely delightful. Coat them in the sauce a bit more, and I'm actually going to drain them off. Again, coat these a bit. I hope you can see that. That looks absolutely wonderful. So I'm just going to drain. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this into there. Get rid of this oil. Some of that glaze on there. That's one side. The same here, just tip this oil out. Over here. Right, that's tipped out. Then the final bit. This is homemade barbecue sauce. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. There's stewed apples, there's some lemon rind, there's some blueberries, there's some cider vinegar, cumin, molasses, basically a whole range of stuff, tomato sauce, etc. Homemade, left to refrigerate for a couple of days. Worcester sauce as well. And for you guys across the pond, it's Worcestershire sauce. Can't even say it right myself. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a little bit onto here, because the rest are going to go onto my ribs. Mix that up. And that's going to go. I'm actually going to put these in the oven. Let me taste one. Oh, sublime. Oh, absolutely lovely. So, tin foil over the top. Stick them in the oven. No point putting them back on the smoker. We put them at 60 degrees, and just leave them to cool down a little bit, and they'll be ready for eating. Okay, ribs are out. Smelling great. They were smoking for about 4.5 hours total. Well, I say 4.5 hours. I had them unwrapped for about 3.5 hours. Wrapped it up for about an hour. The smell coming off is absolutely delightful. Really interested to see how I've done here. And any comments from you guys across the pond, then please feel free to do so. Wow, that is so good. Anyway, I'm going to pour this over the top. I'm going to leave one which has just got the spices on them. I'm only going to do this top section, and I said I'm going to leave it in the oven for about an hour before we actually start to eat, only at about 60 to 70 degrees. Wow, look at that. That looks absolutely, I don't know if you can see that, but it's very tested. I can't cut into this yet. I won't be able to show you, unfortunately, because that'll be served to the dinner table like this. Presentation is key, and then we'll start digging in, because I have to clear up all the camera equipment. Oh, incidentally, the camera I'm using, I don't normally do videos, but it's a Nikon Z7 II. Great camera. I do photography, mainly sort of landscapes. I'll put a couple of shots in just for your interest. If you like them, let me know. So anyway, let's wrap this back up again, if I can. So face up. And then I'm going to do exactly the same to the other large one, but leave the smaller one with just the spices on. This is going to be absolutely special. Talk to you soon. Okay, moment of truth. This is the beef, which has been on the smoker for 6.5, 7 hours now. I put it on at what, 5:30 this morning. This is the chuck roast, by the way, not the biscuit. So I wrapped it up about an hour and a half ago. It's at about 83, 84 degrees Celsius. So I've looked online and that seems to be okay. I'm going to rest it for about an hour, and hopefully I'll still keep cooking it within that time. So that might just bring the temperature up a little bit. But let's have a look. I'm particularly want to rip it if I can afford to get it all off. Might have to just, all that is. I don't know if you can see that, but that smells absolutely gorgeous. God, wow. And that looks so tender inside as well. So there you go. I'm not going to cut into it. It's going to be presented to the table as is, so I'm sorry you won't see the final result. Maybe I'll take some of my iPhone with the family, etc. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed everything. I've had a great time doing this. Give us some comments if you can online, and yeah, any tips from you guys overseas. Hope the UK guys like this. From the Suffolk Smoker, signing out. Take care.